It is time for another in the bag video. I've got all my ice gear, all my roller gear, my twigs ready to go. You guys have been asking questions about what gear I'm currently using in hockey, and today we're gonna give you all the answers that you need. Let's dive into the bag and see what we have inside. Woo. Now, before we get into this thing, I should mention I'm sponsored by Bauer. I've been working with them for a couple years. I used all Bauer gear before I was sponsored by them. Nasher 61 here. Just gonna do an in the bag video, show you all my equipment. Bauer Vapor. I'm a big fan of the Vapor series. These are great gloves. Bauer, this is a great stick, let me tell you. So this is true to me and what I like best. Starting with the skates, we got the Bauer Hyperlight 2s. I've been rocking these since they came out, and these are without a doubt my favorite skate of all time. I used the Vapor series growing up. I'm a big fan of the Vapor series, so this is just what I'm accustomed to. I tried out the Mocs, I tried out the Supremes. This is what I ended up with. I've got the Fit 1 for that, more narrow foot, and it's just the perfect skate for what I need. So we got the Hyperlight 2, along with that, the custom Blade Tech Columbus Heat blades. Matches the black of the boot. Just one of the best looking skates I think out right now, and this has been working really well for me. I've been messing around with different sharpenings. As a kid, I just used like a 1/2 inch. Now I've gone to a 5/8 inch just to get a little bit more glide. Also experimenting with some different profiles as well. So if you've tried out profiling, let me know in the comments. Something I still am just getting used to, and we're gonna experiment, see what we like. Now jumping over to roller hockey, I like to keep my gear consistent from ice to roller. So I've got a custom Hyperlight 2 boot. I saw a lot of people thinking this was like an unreleased Hyperlight 2 rollerblade that's coming out. There are some rumors that one's coming out. I don't have an inside scoop or anything like that, but this is a custom from ice to roller conversion. So we've got just a normal Hyperlight 2 boot with the Kryptonium chassis down low. Super clean look, and this skate's been treating me really well on the roller rink. We've been buzzing out there, absolutely zero complaints. The number one most important thing when it comes to roller hockey is the wheels that you use. You have to have the right wheels for the surface. So I currently have some Lebeda grippers on that I use for the outdoor tiled surface that we have here in Columbus. However, when you jump inside, you're gonna want a much softer wheel for the indoor tile so you're not slipping around. So for indoor, I use 2 different wheels. I've been kind of messing around with both. Up first, the Connex Pure X, great wheel for me. This is what I've been using in the last 2 roller hockey tourneys. I love this wheel. I'm also not super picky when it comes to wheels. I'll mess around and try everything. Another wheel that I really like is the Lebeda Addiction. Super good for indoor use. These are expensive wheels, premium wheels, but definitely what I like to use for indoor. Keep in mind, for hockey in general, you don't need the best of the best stuff. It all comes down to the player, to your preferences, to what you like using on the ice. So always keep that in mind. Try out different gear, see what works best for you, and get out and do it. Moving up to our Shin Guards, I've got Hyperlight Shin Guards. I really am not a fan of changing gear. I actually used an old pair of like Supreme 80 Shin Guards for the longest time. So I just recently got these Hyperlights. I'll probably keep these for like 5 years before I change them up. My other one just got a crack in it. So Shin Guards, find one that works and stick with it. You do not need to be upgrading these very often. Pants, I'm rocking the Hyperlight pants. I used to rock the more traditional fit, so I liked it like super baggy. Recently picked up these Hyperlights, so it's actually tighter on the waist, and then you have a bit more space down here. I just feel a bit more agile when I'm rocking these. Same thing as the shinnies though. I mean, pants are pants. You find something that works, you stick with it. I'm a big fan of those though. Shoulder pads, we have the 2X Pros, super lightweight. All you can really ask for. It's protective, it's lightweight, it gets the job done. For elbow pads, I've got 1X lights. The newer elbow pads are actually a little bit too pointy for me, so like you put a jersey on and it just like gets caught a little bit to me. So I like the older ones. I'm actually gonna try out the Mocs soon and see how those feel. They're a little bit less pointy as well, but rocking the 1X lights, super comfy, get the job done. For me, and I think for most people, what's most important is your skates, your gloves, and your sticks. All the other stuff, I mean, you could toss whatever on and probably not be able to tell too much of a difference. And like I said, it's all personal preference. We'll move on to our gloves. These are the Hyperlight gloves. Huge fan of these. I've tried out a lot of different gloves. I like to just see what all is out there. For me, this is the best fit for one reason. You have more room here, especially right at your wrist. So with some of the gloves, you have a more tighter fit. I know the Supreme line is like that. With the Hyperlights though, so much room for stick handling. When you're getting down here, you're not getting caught on anything. You just have more room to work with. So you can probably see a bit of a trend here. I rock all the Vapor Vapor Fit stuff. I'm a big fan of the Vapor series. That's just what works best for me. But again, try everything out for yourself. Try it on in your hockey shop and see what works best for you. And moving on to our helmets, I've got two, one that I rock for roller and one that I rock for beer league. Our roller helmet, this thing has been through some stuff. Look at this, dude. It is beat up like crazy. I don't want to switch helmets just because I'm so used to this and I love the fit. This is the Bauer React 150 helmet. Definitely a bit of an older model, but a lot of guys in the NHL still rocking this. This is just a classic Bauer bucket. We also have a smoked visor on here. It's the Pro Clip visor. If you ever want to just take it off for any reason, like say I'm running a youth practice or anything like that, there's two clips on the sides. You pull it off and now you got the bucket without the visor. Super easy, comes in handy quite a bit. And of course, we're rocking the custom Columbus heat stickers on the side, the 6-1 on the back. Looking clean, man. I love this helmet. And then for ice hockey in beer league where things are a little bit unpredictable, I do rock the full fishbowl, man. I love the fishbowl vibe. Like, I know some people chirp these, but I'm a big fan of it. The Hyperlight bucket, nice and simple, man. We're looking like Bedsy out there. So that sums up all the ice gear. I use all the same ice gear for roller. Again, I like to keep it consistent. The only thing is you're not using your shoulder pads, you're not using your pants. Everything else, exactly the same. There's two pieces of gear that are unique to roller that I want to show you that's just a tiny bit different. You don't wear the full shoulder pad, but I like to have a little bit of protection there. As you can see, the padding is super thin, but when you get bodied on the boards, when you hit your shoulder without having any protection whatsoever, you start to feel it the next day, especially when you're getting older like me. So we got just a little bit of protection on the shoulders and especially here on the side region, but does not weigh you down in any way. And the second one is the pants protector. So this is just a very, very lightweight hockey pant. I wear this under my Columbus Heat pants. You probably can't even tell. So I actually just picked both of these up 2 tournaments ago, and I just found I feel more confident. I had a couple hip surgeries growing up that really set me back. So if I land weird on my hip, I'll be in pain for days. This does just enough to protect that and prevent that from happening. So I've been rocking these for 2 or 3 tourneys now. And last but definitely not least, the most important part, the sticks. I've been rocking the Bauer Proto R here since this thing released. This has definitely been my favorite hockey stick of all time. I used to be purely a Vapor guy. I'm a big fan of the Vapor series. I rocked the Vapor 40 throughout high school. Then I switched over to the 2N Pro. Then I went to the Hyperlights and the Agents. Now I'm back here to the mid kick point Proto R. For me, this has just been the best of both worlds. With that mid kick, you can still get the quick releases, but you get plenty of power in your shots. Also, I've made some adjustments to the specs that I'm using. So I've dropped down to a 70 flex now. I cut it just a little bit. So as you can see, this one sits here just under my nose. So with the cut, this thing's probably at a 75 flex, but it is super whippy. You guys have seen the last few tournaments. This stick has been perfect for me. The hat trick in the championship game, roll the clips. We've been dangling with this thing, getting shots off super in tight, in close, and roofing them top shelf. And I cannot ask for a better stick than this one right here. For the curve, I've tried out a lot of things. I went to the P28, I went to the P90TM, but I have just come back to Old Faithful, the P92. This is the curve I use my entire life. I keep going back to it. It is just so consistent with both your release, your stick handling, and your passing. Perfect for me. For the tape jobs, pretty standard. We've just got a small knob up top and then a grip tape on the way down. I was always opposed to the grip tapes, but honestly, the purple looks super clean. The grip on the gloves, I just find my shot coming off a little bit better when I have that grip. And something brand new, just started using this a couple months ago, is the ResTech grip. So it's like a skateboard sandpaper type grip. What it's supposed to do is prevent the snow buildup when you're playing on the ice. Why I use this in particular is because there's no tape at the bottom. So in roller hockey, you don't really want that extra friction, especially on those more sticky indoor surfaces. So having no tape at the bottom has been super clutch for me and allows me to get my shots off nice and smooth. So that about does it for the in the bag video. I hope you found this helpful in some way. If you guys have any questions about any of the gear that you saw, feel free to toss a comment down below and I'll answer them down there. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you by no means have to use any of the gear that I mentioned. Find the gear that best suits you and stick with it. We see the guys in the NHL locker rooms that are rocking their Reebok elbow and shoulder pads from the year 2003. You know, you just want to use the gear that works for you. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, hit the video with a like, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1 million subscribers. Big things coming soon, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.